Audio Jungle.
Since leaving the royal family in January 2020, support for Meghan and Harry has fallen in the UK population. Prince Charles experienced a similar drop in ratings when his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles was revealed alongside his divorce with Princess Diana. This led to a 40-point plunge in polling about whether he would be a good king. In 1992, Andrew Morton's book revealed Charles' affair with Camilla. Princess Diana's interview exposed the affair. "Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." Polling company Ipsos Mori data in 1996 found only 41% of Brits thought the Prince of Wales would make a good king. In recent times, Prince Harry's ratings have seen a similar trajectory. In 2017, Prince Harry and Meghan had popular support from the public, having received 81% support from the British public that year. However, according to Ipsos Mori data, Prince Harry's support has fallen by 50 points in his UK approval rating. Meghan's support has decreased to 32% from 55% in October 2019. Prince Harry's public support is now lower than the rating of Prince Charles in the 1990s. The rating comparison was shared on Twitter by royal correspondent Jack Royston. The low public opinion of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex could be explained by their recent tell-all interview with Oprah in March, in which the couple dropped a number of truth bombs on the firm. The interview was aired whilst Prince Philip was ill in hospital. Early next week, a new edition of the bombshell, but heavily sympathetic to Meghan and Harry, Sussex biography Finding Freedom will hit shelves with an epilogue covering the tumultuous events of the last 12 months. The death of Windsor patriarch, and the Noel Coward of the racist quip, Prince Philip is covered, along with Meghan and husband Harry, the Duke of Sussex's decision to spill the palace beans for Oprah Winfrey and global TV audiences. Overnight, some of the new details contained in Finding Freedom came out in the UK press, revealing the couple considered naming the royal at the centre of their racism claims. Harry was saddened and disappointed that the Queen turned down his request to have a wreath laid on his behalf on Remembrance Day, that according to a friend of the couple, the bullying claims raised against the Duchess felt like certain individuals at the palace were doing their very best to undermine and discredit the Sussexes ahead of their Oprah interview, while a friend said their TV tell-all was liberating and all the things she had kept to herself or been too afraid to say. As a working member of the royal family, she felt safe to finally share. Elsewhere, Finding Freedom's authors claim that on the question of the former actress attending Philip's funeral, several members of the royal family are understood to have been quietly pleased that Meghan stayed in California because they didn't want a circus or, commented one senior royal source, the Duchess creating a spectacle. To make it perfectly clear here, Harry and Meghan have denied being involved with Finding Freedom and said via a spokesperson last year they did not collaborate with the authors on the book, nor were they interviewed for it. Still, the drum that this new version of the book seems to be banging sounds similar to the same drum the couple themselves have been banging for much of this year already. Meghan, during their Oprah appearance, raised charges of institutional royal racism and of a level of indifference to her declining mental health during her first pregnancy that was nothing short of cruel. Harry has, so far this year, accused his family of total neglect, bullying him into silence, of them being stuck in a cycle of genetic pain and cutting him off financially. All signs point to even more of this same banging in the future. For those who are firmly Team Sussex, these sorts of revelations only further entrench their belief in the cause. For anyone clutching their commemorative Diamond Jubilee tea towel collection to their chest while humming God Save the Queen, this only makes them more fervently incensed on the Queen's behalf, and for the masses somewhere more in the middle, it is just repetitive and boring. And that is a very dangerous thing at this stage of play. The couple raised some very serious questions about a strain of racism in the firm, a charge that the Queen must address publicly and substantively in some way or another. New polling this week found 55% of British and 61.6% of American respondents agreed that Her Majesty had not done enough to respond to the Sussexes' racism allegations. However, the more Harry and Meghan cry wolf here, the more people seem to be tuning them out, and that is a huge bloody shame. This racism conversation needs to happen, and the only way that will come to pass is if public pressure stays on Buckingham Palace. Next year, Harry is set to release his biography, having picked up a rumored $27 million advance for the work. Given the money involved, chances are that publisher Penguin Random House expects him to turn in an eye-popping tell-all that will fly off the shelves, which is to say, another huge serving of self-styled monarchical martyrdom. Sure, this might all be cleansing for the couple who clearly had a rough trot during their brief 20 months of joined HRH down, but it is also a serious miscalculation. According to Google Trends, web searches for Meghan, Duchess of Sussex in the United States, where the duo are busily trying to build their brand, are 50% lower today than they were on January 3 this year. What Harry and Meghan have managed to do is to render what at any other time in history would have constituted mind-bogglingly huge royal stories into blandly pedestrian and yawningly mundane. The couple lobbing a few more verbal grenades over the palace gates is now about as novel as a moth star topping up their lip fillers. The Duke and Duchess seem to be suffering from a strange form of myopia where they think that painting themselves as casualties of a cruel institution represents some sort of savvy play. Cathartic? Sure. Clever? Sorry, no. In fact, what we have here is essentially a zero-sum game. They have won over as many hearts and minds as they will to their cause with current anti-palace mo. The Sussexes risk the world becoming increasingly blasé whenever they pop their heads above the parapet, and that would be frustrating beyond belief because I do think the royal family must satisfactorily respond to their racism claims in a public forum. Her Majesty, after all, presides over a commonwealth that is composed of more than 1.5 billion people of color. According to one report, Finding Freedom's authors write in the revised edition, as difficult as recent years have been, sources close to the Sussexes say that neither Harry nor Meghan have any regrets about the decisions they have made. What started as a fairy tale romance became a story that reinvented the genre, a self-made, independent woman playing an equal role alongside her knight. What Harry and Meghan, and this biography's authors, have wrong is they seem unable to let go of these tired, shop-worn tropes of victims and villains, of brave and bold warriors versus the calculating, oppressive forces standing in their way.